Hello and welcome to another daily prompt. Actually, this is a package of prompts. I want to try something new out because I have written a lot of prompts within the last few weeks, but not the last few weeks, the last week. But I've been so busy with work and also other events in my life. Last week I went to the summertime ball in London, which was really fun. So I haven't had time to record. And also I wanted to allow my essential spectrum video to simmer for a bit, for a week to gain over 100 views, which it did. So I decided to try something new out. Instead of doing one prompt at a time, I'm going to try doing 4 in this video to try and not get them out the way, but to try and, speed up the process of making them. So it'll be this 4 and then my next main video and then other packages. And if I like the package idea going forward in the future, I might do it more often. But yeah, let's get into our first prompt for this video, which is the third prompt for Pride Month. It is titled Malnourished and is based on the prompt write a short story or poem around the theme of being malnourished. And remember, it doesn't have to be literal, so let's get right into it. I crave their hands, I crave their lips, the way they dance, I crave their hips, the beauty of our relationship. There's 4 of us, no need for more, a perfect balance, and even 4. Before it was incomplete, 2 of us, my stomach weak. I needed more, I was starving. Not that my partner wasn't nourishing, but the love I had in my heart was far too much for one to grasp. Sick to my stomach, a gurgling, a craving, a malnourishment in desperate need of taming. A hunger for more I failed to understand, until my partner took my hand, told me everything was grand. They helped me look, I found 2 more, my stomach full, 4 hearts galore. So I hope you enjoyed that poem. It was based around polyamory. So yeah, the 4th prompt for Pride Month is titled Ready for Us, and is based on the prompt write a short story, including a letter that was never received. Long before the days of texting, blood, sweat and tears went into handwritten letters, such as the one written by the young Barnaby in 1865 to his lover, the young Philip. The letter was intercepted by Barnaby's mother, Lady Ratiful, who burned it on the fire. It didn't matter, though, for light always banishes darkness, and once Barnaby had inherited his father's estate, it was out with his mother and in with his lover. The lords lived together for a further 40 years, until Philip's death. Barnaby rewrote the letter his mother had burned, and as Philip lay on his deathbed, he read it to him aloud. Philip, my dearest, how I wish I could place a band on your finger to show the world you're mine. But it's needed not, for I know our hearts beat in time. This story is one of fiction, but many like it happened throughout history. We must always remember those who fought to be with those they love most in this world. Before the world was ready for them, the world is still not ready for us. So moving on to the 5th prompt for Pride Month. This one's titled I've Not Heard Any of These, and is based on the prompt write a fantasy story based around the last message you sent to a friend. So here we go. So many terms, so many identities, how does one keep track? I've not heard of any of these, I hear you scream. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not about what you know, who you know, it's all about how you act. They're hurting no one with the terms they choose, so the choice is on to you. Respect and love them for who they are, or get off the stage and be booed. You call us jesters before the king, dancing to his whim, but when the witches with power within, you couldn't begin to comprehend. Respect us witches and you'll be fine. Give us the respect you've earned, because if you're ready up stakes, it's you that will be burned. And finally for this video, we're going to do the 6th story for Pride Month, which is titled Just Another Cheesy Romance, and it's write a non-linear story about a reunion. So this one is actually a full short story, so it's quite long. So it would be nice to close this video on this. As he allowed his body to give way to the music, he saw him there across the room. It had been years since they'd last seen each other, but now he saw him in a new light. He glowed a million shades of neon greens and blues as the spotlights hit him in all the right places, and his eyes caught his as the music faded into the distance. "You have spaghetti on your nose," Ryan pointed out to West, who was gulping down the spaghetti like it was his last meal on earth. The two boys burst into laughter as Ryan's mother, Mrs. Jenkins, came over with a fresh plate of warm garlic bread. "You boys are so cute together. I hope your friendship lasts forever." The boys smiled warmly at each other as Mrs. Jenkins took her seat at the head of the table. "Why, I bet you'll even be each other's best men at your weddings." Ryan looked to West with a sad, confused smile. "I want West to be at my wedding, Mum." And she smiled back, thinking she'd ended the conversation with her first bite of spaghetti. Mrs. Jenkins took Ryan's nervous arm in hers as she led him down the aisle towards an anxious West, standing handsomely in his burgundy velvet suit. West stood still, waiting for Ryan to cross the room. Neither said a single word as Ryan placed his lips against West's. "Hi," he said afterwards, looking him deep in the eyes. West laughed as he took his old friend by the hand and led him out to the club. Ryan took West's hand at the altar and looked him deep in the eyes as Mrs. Jenkins held her hand to her heart. "I'm glad you got to come to my wedding," Ryan whispered in his groom's ear before planting a kiss on his cheek. "Our wedding," a young West burst out loud at the dinner table. Mrs. Jenkins dropped her fork with a clang. "Don't be silly, West. Two boys can't get married." Ryan looked over at West's spaghetti-stained face and burst into tears. "Oh, now look what you've done. You've upset him. I'm calling your father and you're going home, young man." Mrs. Jenkins erupted out of her chair and stormed over to the phone as the two boys gripped onto each other's hand, weathering the storm together with rain pouring from their eyes. Before Mrs. Jenkins returned to her seat, she took both Ryan and West's hands in hers and looked them both in their tear-filled eyes. "My boys, thank you for teaching me what love looks like, and thank you for giving me another chance. The way I treated you both when you were younger is inexcusable. I want you to know that you are both my beautiful sons. And West, your father will be looking down at his smart, handsome boy with pride in his eyes." The music at the club led back into life as the men stood outside on a cold summer night. Ryan never tore his eyes away from West as they waited for their cab back to the hotel room. "You have something on your face," Ryan pointed out with a laugh. "It better not be spaghetti," West choked back. "No." Ryan took West's face in his hands and planted another eternal kiss. "It's me," West snorted with laughter as the cab approached. That was so cheesy, but you know what? I don't care. Ryan Jenkins, you are the cheese to my spaghetti. I hope you enjoyed this little package of prompts, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.